Good morning, everybody. On this Thursday morning, I think it's the 9th, possibly. Out at Deer Park, not the real name of the park, but I can never remember the name of the park. So I wanted to share today a little bit of a backstory. You know how I love the backstory. Something's itching my eye right now. Of my video journeys, I guess. I've mentioned many times that I used to actually work for a TV station as a photographer slash reporter person back in the late 90s, middle to late 90s. And then I switched over to doing like commercials and advertising, which I hated. And then I did some freelance for a while, and then I decided to work for a hospital because I got burned out doing that. But before I became a professional video person, and I don't mean the YouTube stuff, I mean the TV stuff. Way back in the 80s, I used to do video vlogs, but they didn't call them video vlogs back then. It was just home videos, because unless you were, I don't know why suddenly my eyes are itching. Because there was no YouTube back in 1988, and unless you were making films or something, the videos that you made just stayed at home, I guess. So it was like a home video thing. So sometimes I used to, I got a camera, I think about somewhere in the year after my dad died, when I was like 19, maybe I was 20. My mom said, yeah, we're gonna go out and buy a video camera, because she thought it would be fun, and I thought it would be fun to like videotape, all the family stuff and babies and all that stuff. And if any of you are old enough to be around in the 80s, video cameras were fairly expensive back in the day, and I had one of those full-size VHS ones that were probably about 1.5 feet long or something like that. And they had the smaller ones that were, what were they called? VHS-C. They were the shorter version, but the tapes are really small and stuff. So my mom plunked down probably, I don't know if it was like $300, $400 for a VHS home video camera, which I kind of wish I still had, but I think I threw it away. Just to show, I don't think it worked anymore, but just to show on the vlogs. I keep thinking I'll see one out at like a thrift shop and I'll buy it, just to kind of show those young whippersnappers what it used to be to like have to film stuff, not on your phone, how tough it was. Especially doing the selfie thing, because if you had a camera that was like, say, from my shoulder to my hand, like this long, that long, to have to flip it around was really hard, because you had to have, it probably weighed about 2 or 3 pounds. I had the one that had man, there's mosquitoes jumping all over me. That's weird. I had the one that had like, it was like, they call it like a pistol grip, and you could actually grab the pistol grip and it was easier to flip around. And I think I was sort of one of the pioneers way back then who was doing that, where you'd flip, because normally if you were doing videos you'd be looking out the front, how it's designed. Let's do it this way. You're looking the front of the camera toward the subject and not filming yourself. But occasionally you'd flip around in yourself and talk, but it wasn't as simple as a little camera, little handheld camera. So anyway, getting past the technical, first thing I remember shooting is my nephew was down at my house from Bradenton, and I was like, let's go shoot a movie about you training as a fighter. I just made this up on the spot because I just wanted to shoot something. There was a lot of dung in the road. I don't know, but look, there's like the newer brown, and then there's older gray. It's like somebody keeps pooping in the same exact spot. That's weird. This park is like kind of like a preserve, and I wonder what kind of animal would be pooping out here, continually marking their spot. I don't think it's a dog. I don't know. Why am I showing poop? I don't know. Where were we? Okay, so yeah, the first thing I ever shot was my nephew training as a boxer, and I got on a bicycle and I was following him around the block, and we were like, had a little story. I wanted to like shoot a mini movie and edit it. That was always my dream, because I had seen so much stuff on like America's Funniest Home Videos and just various things. This is pre-internet. I don't think the internet started till the early 90s, right? So there was no internet. There was only film festivals and TV. And many people that I know did not have video cameras. There are very few people that I knew that actually had video cameras. Anyway, this all brings me about to vlogging and what you want to share with the world. Is now we have YouTube and you can almost record live now. It's like you can read it. I'm sorry. They have Facebook Live and they used to have, they got Periscope and all that stuff. I don't really like that as much because one thing, it takes up a lot of your cellular information. And number two, it's like you can just put on something that's schlocky, and I like to edit a lot of stuff too, just so it's the content is better that way. It's not, I hate when the sun's like that. See that sun? What topics? I don't like to go into any political stuff or hot button topics because I think it's polarizing. Some people hate it and some people like it, and I don't want people to like get divided and unsubscribe because they judge me on my thoughts and stuff. I'll give thoughts about general life topics and stuff, but as far as like politics or the white black thing or just anything that is controversial, I think a lot about, should I put it on? How will people react to that? And that brings me to the election. And I always like it when it's something that I think is going to be controversial. I don't go for the drama, unless it's something that not to do with me. Then I'm fine with it. But if it's to do with me expressing opinion, I try to stay away from it. So the election, okay? So it's 2 days after the election of Donald Trump. And I thought a lot about, should I say something about the election? I don't want to. How do you talk about politics without taking a side? And it's called, what is it called? Objectivity? Objective reporting or objective story? When I used to work in the news, it was always like, let's take the objective, not the subjective, but the objective. You know, it's supposed to be 80 degrees high and it feels like it's 88. Just saying. I'm just being subjective for a second. But let me be objective and give you my thoughts and my reactions to the election without taking sides, okay? Because I don't think it's good for well, let me go back and say this. The part I didn't like about the election is it's very divisional among the country and even friends or family. I haven't really experienced that, like somebody hating me because I said I like this person. My girlfriend and I don't get real political. I don't even know who she would have voted for. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that just now. I don't know if she said she wanted to vote, and I don't know if she even voted. We don't get into those discussions. We just get into like the whole, I hate these commercials. That's what the commercials constantly, while you're trying to watch a network show or something. Hillary this and Clinton or that and Trump this, and it's very negative. And you know, on this channel, I try to highlight the positive to try to help other people, you know, improve their lives, as well as for me to always just try to focus on something positive. And the whole campaigns have just been negative. And now there's people like protesting the election and they're all mad. But you know what? If there was an election right now, there wouldn't be all this division in the country. And I almost liken it to sort of like a mini civil war where you're dividing the country up because of somebody's thoughts or feelings or emotions about a subject or of a person, a presidential candidate. I'm divided because you like that person, I like this person, and your person sucks, and we're the best. And so, in sort of summing up my thoughts, I think we have to be thankful that we have a country where we can disagree on politics or religion or lifestyle or any of that stuff. But we're not prosecuted for that. I think that's what you have to sort of appreciate, the freedom of the country, that you're not thrown in jail for your beliefs or something like that, as are some countries around the world, Middle Eastern countries. People are persecuted for their religion or something, or you're frowned upon. And despite your personal feelings, or my personal feelings of, the election didn't go the way you wanted, and when you feel that, the country's going to go down the tube, or, whatever kind of thoughts you have, I think we should be. I feel really hopeful that it shows that democracy is working, because somebody who is not an experienced politician has been elected to the president of the United States. That shows that. I think that shows. This is my personal feelings. And if you disagree, that's fine too. It shows that our system works. That you don't have to be a career politician. You don't have to be an expert. That, I think that's, isn't that what the idea of democracy is supposed to be? Is that anybody can get elected president? I thought that was the whole idea of starting America, separating from England, and declaring our independence, and saying we want a free country where everybody can be respected. Now, whether that's the reality of the country, I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate you if you listen to this vlog and you don't agree with me, but you still listen to my opinions. I think that's what this whole thing is supposed to be about, is just respecting each other and that kind of stuff. We can be in a country where we disagree, but we can still get along. And I'm really actually hopeful for the future that something will change. We'll have some positive changes. I'm trying to be objective about the whole process, rather than, be subjective or something. I don't know. Anyway, hope you have a great week. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. I hope you don't unsubscribe because of this video. Anyway, we'll see you in the next vlog.